Coach David Buchanan. Coach Chuck Smith. Two legendary high school football coaches. This is the Coach's Office, a behind-the-scenes look at Kentucky high school football.
Hi, welcome to the Coach's Office, behind the scenes with Chuck Smith and David Buchanan. This is Season 4, Episode 4. I'm Chuck Smith. I'm joined by co-host David Buchanan, podcast editor / storyteller Mike Yoakum. Our YouTube version of this podcast is at TCOP, t.c.o.p. Just hit like and subscribe if you would. It helps us out. You're going to love our guest coach tonight. We're having the new Paris high school football coach, Dane Damron. That name for Kentuckians is pretty familiar. He's certainly not new to being a head coach, you know, and he's has a lot of experience at the college level. He's been either a head coach or assistant coach for like 17 years at the college level. And then he was head coach for some other high schools that we'll mention later. David's going to bring him on shortly. Next, we're going to have, after we talk to Coach Damron, we're going to have our tough topic that we always have. And the tough topic tonight is from Dave Burnworth. And the question is, why is attendance down at games? You know, I don't know. I mean, every game I've been involved in this year so far, there's been a pretty nice crowd. But I think that is a valid point and a valid question, and we'll discuss that a little bit later. Our games of the week will be Owensboro Catholic and Owensboro, and then also North Oldham and South Oldham. So we got some in-town rivals for our games of the week. I know of another big in-town rival that we didn't mention as part of our games of the week, but we can get that a little bit later. And then a little bit about Coach Damron before we bring him on. As I said, he's the head football coach at Paris High School. He's in his first year there. He's got them off to a great 3-0 start right now. A little bit about his background. As I said earlier, he's 17 years at the college level as a head coach and as an assistant. He was at Virginia Wise as the head football coach from 2016 to 23. He was the Kentucky Christian University head football coach from 2007 and 2008. And he was the OC and assistant coach at Eastern Kentucky University from 2009 to 2015. So he's got a lot of college experience. He was also the head football coach at Lake Gibson High School in Florida. Boy, that's some good football down in that area for sure. And also the head football coach at Boyd County High School in Kentucky. He also played football at Georgetown College. David, you want to bring Coach Damron on?
I sure do. Dane was an All-American, and I think, was that the first national title at Georgetown when you were the quarterback? Is that correct?
Yeah, 1991.
Yeah, I thought you were the first one, so that's pretty impressive. Dane, one of the best things for me about going to Mason County is crossing paths with Dane and his brother Donley, and I really enjoyed that. And Dane too. I think the happiest I was ever with Dane. Back in that old playoff system, we had won our district. We're in a district with Dane. Dane was doing a super job at Boyd County. And so Dane draws a trip to Bell County first round, and we're playing Madison Southern. And if it all plays out, we're going to Bell County. Man, Dane's Boyd County team goes down there and beats Bell County at Bell County. And so then we get Ashland at home, and we won the region. But Dane, you could have been elected mayor of Maysville that Friday evening. We were pretty excited about you. But
glad I could help. Glad I could help.
Well, hey, and it's great that you're a Paris Greyhound right now. So glad you're running that program, and we've been excited ever since we found out. So I'm going to turn it over to Chuck and let him get going.
Yeah. Hey, Dane, we appreciate you being on. Hey, my first question for you is, who were the biggest influences in your life on and off the field that have helped make you the coach that you are today?
Well, I would have to say the first is my dad. My dad was the basketball coach at Kentucky Christian College. I think for 20 years, he had a couple of different stints. He retired. He stopped coaching a couple of times, and they couldn't find anybody else to do it. And he'd go back and do it again and win a national championship, and then stop again and come back and win another national championship. And he ended up winning 4 national championships in 400 games in his time at Kentucky Christian. So first and foremost, my dad. He passed away in 2007, but there's no doubt that he had the biggest impact on me, both as a coach, but more importantly as a person, as a husband and a father. My brother was a really good coach. He did a great job at East Carter. So I would say him. My grandfather, name was Leonard Marshall. I called him Poppy. Poppy was the head coach of Salyersville High School in basketball for a long time. Had a chance to coach Lincoln Collinsworth, who's Chris Collinsworth's dad. And he was Lincoln Collinsworth was one of Rupp's runts, and so was on Rupp's runts, excuse me. And so Poppy was a big time influence. He got back into coaching when I was in the 2nd grade, so he would have a chance to coach me in basketball. And then Charles Baker was my head basketball coach at East Carter. I think the world of Coach Baker, and I couldn't thank enough, for what he did. I was very fortunate in the fact that I didn't need a coach to be my role model because I had my dad.
Yeah.
And so I didn't look for a role model per se. I just looked for somebody who treated me fairly and who pushed me to be the best that I could be. And I thought that Coach Baker always did that. And I love Coach Baker to death to this day. And then Kevin Donley, my head coach at Georgetown College. He's a good one. I had a chance to spend some time with him. Coach Cronin, Coach Cronin was our offensive line coach when I was at Georgetown, was not my head coach, but he was the offensive line coach. So I had a chance to spend 3 years with him. But Coach Cronin got inducted into the Hall of Fame at the end of August there at Georgetown. And Coach Donley came back. And so it was really good to have a chance to see Coach Donley. And then, as far as coaching schematically, Red Faught was my offensive coordinator at Georgetown. He was one of the godfathers of the run and shoot. And, when he came in, it turned Georgetown College's around, and I'm a firm believer that the reason Georgetown College has won 3 national championships is because of the influence that Coach Faught had on Coach Donley and then, on Coach Cronin, because when Coach Cronin took the job over in 1997, Coach Faught came back and helped him just a little bit, to try to get him going before he got, before he had passed. And so he was there to do something. Then my senior year at Georgetown was kind of different. But my offensive coordinator was a guy by the name of Skip Stress. And he taught me a lot as far that I used when I became a coach. Coach Faught was fantastic in the fact that, it didn't really matter what defense somebody was playing with us. He told us to read this guy. And it was good there. But Coach Stress taught me a lot of football. And I'm very thankful that I had my time with him. I wish Coach Donley would have been my head coach with Coach Faught in my senior year because I think we'd had a better team. But the fact that I had a chance to work under Coach Stress, that really meant a lot. Then, I'm very fortunate to say I coached for Roy Kidd too. And having the chance to be a graduate assistant for Coach Kidd was great. And he taught me a lot. And then Dean Hood, who I worked for as the offensive coordinator at Eastern, Dean taught me that I could be a husband first. And, I think a lot of times in football, coaches get married to the office.
Yeah.
And Coach Hood taught me that I could be married to Delisha. And, that was the most important thing. And I had a chance to be a husband and be a father. And those 7 years I spent working under Dean were fantastic years for myself. But I think my wife and my kids would tell you the same thing.
Yeah. Hey, I thought it was really interesting that your early background was influenced by basketball coaches, your grandfather and your father, and then you and your brother end up in football.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why. I'm a huge Cincinnati Bengals fan, and as a kid, I thought Coy Bacon was the greatest football player in the world. Why I thought Coy Bacon was the greatest player in the world, I guess, is because he was from Ironton, and that was right across the river from Ashland, which is in northeast Kentucky. And so, but I grew up a huge Bengal fan, and I just loved playing football. I played all three in high school.
Yeah.
I would ultimately tell you that coming out of high school, baseball was probably my best sport, but I just loved playing football, and that's why we're here today.
Yeah, it worked out for you.
It's pretty good decision.
Yeah, it's been great. Hey, so was your last year at Georgetown 1993?
Yeah, that was my senior season. Yeah,
And so you played for Coach, was it Brush?
Bob Brush. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I got you. I bumped into him when I was coaching at Paris. So I was just curious about that. But hey, speaking of your Georgetown time, you talk about Red Faught and, the run and shoot, which you guys just, I don't think anybody does a better job with it than you all did. And then what I used to call that Georgetown set, the unbalanced set with the wing and the halfback and stuff. And, so my first question for you is this. Are there any of the foundational concepts that you used at Georgetown that are still part of what you're doing at Paris High School?
Oh yeah, they've gone with me everywhere I've been. We did them at Eastern.
I got you.
There was some of that stuff we did at Eastern. We ran our orange formation at Eastern. One of the happiest I've been was when we was playing Murray State in 2014, I think it was. We handed off orange 39, and that the wing back came around and dipped and went on the outside, and both backs got their cut blocks on the perimeter, and we scored. I don't know if I could have been any happier up in the press box than we did that. I think Coach, just to be honest with you, I owe that to Coach Faught. If I'm coaching, there'll be run and shoot principles in whatever we do, because I don't think that I would be coaching if I didn't have those, that time with Coach Faught. That's a way to pay homage to him. It's also a way I pay homage to Craig Mullins, who was the offensive coordinator at Georgetown for the longest time. And I had a chance to play with Craig as a senior my freshman year. And, up until he got really sick with his lung cancer, Craig and we'd spend an hour or 2 hours on the phone every week, just talking ball and, and crossing notes and everything. So that's very important to me too. And, but, I'll always run switch. I'll always run delay. I'll always run choice, and some variations of it. I don't get into run and shoot formation very much anymore, just simply because everything you do now run wise basically is is zone read type things, if you will, and in the gun, and I think that gangster drop teaching that gangster drop to kids today is a little bit difficult, just simply because they're all come from the gun. And teaching them to get the depth coming out from under center with with the half 3-step roll. I don't know if I would have time to get that taught, especially when I got to spend the other 45 minutes or 50 minutes in practice doing defense.
Yeah,
which is really new to me. But I'll always have a big foundation of of Coach Faught and Coach Donley with me wherever I go.
That's cool stuff. I got a little story about Craig Mullins I want to share with you. He recruited Neil Posset, and Neil had been my quarterback. And so anyway, the year after Neil, we're struggling bad. It's awful. And so our season's over, and I'm cleaning up all this. And so my phone starts buzzing, and I look down, and it says Craig Mullins. And I'm like, they've got a game today. I'm like, what is he doing? So I answered. I'm like, Craig, is this you? And he says, David, he said, I'm walking off the field, and I'm just calling to tell you, thank you for Neil Posset. Said, he's great. And I just said, well, Coach, I'm going to tell you, I'm living it right now. Life after Neil Posset is tough. So I'm glad you got him and you're enjoying him. But that made an impression on me, because I couldn't imagine a coach walking off the field and calling another coach like that. But it was really cool, and it perked me up, because I was – I tell you what, like I said, when Neil walked out the door, things got tough. It took us a long time to get over that one. He was a good one.
I can remember when that run and shoot stuff was really popular. It was back in the day when Georgetown was really doing really well, and a lot of high school coaches were running that stuff, and it was really difficult to defend. I remember I used to have to spend a lot of time trying to figure out how to defend it.
Well, what made it so good then, Chuck, was Coach Donley was a wishbone guy.
Mm-hmm.
He was a wishbone guy. And the year we won the national championship in '91, we led the country in rushing. I threw for 3,600 yards, and we led the country in rushing.
Yeah,
because we were still running the triple.
Yeah, didn't Paris High School with
Randy Reese?
They ran that stuff, and they won like 3 state championships.
Well, that would have been before, because that was in '82 and '83, or 82 and '83, I think. So
yeah, but it was good stuff. It was really good stuff. Hey, Dane, the next question I have for you is, when people watch, your team play, what's the identity you want them to see on the field? What do you want them to walk away and say about your team?
Well, I hope they see a team that loves what they're doing and has fun. And I don't think that you can have fun on the football field if you don't love each other. And that's what I'm trying to get across to these kids every single day is to respect the game, respect the work that's put into play that you have to put in to play the game, respect your opponent. I tell them all the time, I want to hit them with those 2 screws on the helmet. Then I want to pick them up and pat them on the butt and tell them I'll be right back. And I think that's the respect and the reverence this game deserves. I'm trying to get them to be a disciplined bunch, which I think we're well on our way. But I think that anytime you go watch somebody play, I hope that somebody, when they come and watch Paris play, they'll say that team plays the right way. And I think that we do. We're definitely working on it. We still fall back a couple times and do some things that we shouldn't, that I would hope that we wouldn't do. But kids today are a little bit more expressive than they were when we played. And I had a kid score a touchdown the other day, and it was down because where Paris is, and David knows this, the home sideline's only about 2 or 3 yards deep. And so there's no room on our sideline. And so the cheerleaders have to stand in the end zone. So one of our kids scored and grabbed the cheerleader's pom-pom and started cheering. So he got a 15-yarder, which I didn't know what he did. I was kind of mad at him when he came off the field. When I saw the film, I was like, that's kind of funny. That's kind of funny.
That is pretty good.
But I want to play the right way, man. I just want to play the right way and play the game the way it deserves to be played.
Well, it's always progress too. I mean, it's going to take you. What are you 3 games into it? So it'll take you a little while to get it the way you want it. But that's a pretty good image of what you want people to just think about and see about with your football team on the field.
Yeah, I just want people to say, man, they have fun. They're enjoying what they're doing, because when it's all said and done, it's still a game. And I said this the other night in the locker room. There's nothing. Saturdays are great, and I enjoyed my Saturdays in college football, and provided me a great life. But there's still nothing better than a Friday night in a small town that loves their school.
Amen.
There's nothing better than that. And the people of Paris love the Greyhounds, and of course David knows that. And David, I'm still waiting for that check for that pregame meal you said that you were going to get for us.
Yeah, I'm bad about that. I'm always committed to things. I need to follow through. So thanks for calling me out. I appreciate that.
I'll tell you. I'll give you my Venmo when we're done here, and you can send me that $150 and pay for our pregame meal.
I got to do PayPal. So since I don't know what we're going to do now, I guess we're out of luck. But
I'll send you my PayPal link. I'll send you my PayPal too. You can send me that $150 for our Giovanni's pregame meal we're going to get.
I got you.
And let you take care of that
for those kids.
You owe it to them, David. You owe Paris High School.
You're not kidding, I owe them. Hey, my last freshman team was really good. That's how I think I got to be a head coach, is because I had a great freshman class, and our freshman quarterback was Corey Dunford. Turned out pretty good, didn't he? Now he's coaching your middle school.
Corey is coaching my middle school, and the middle school Hounds. They're also 3-0, and Corey is doing a fantastic job, man.
He's awesome.
You would be so proud of him, and he's really working hard at it and got a lot of people excited. And So you did a good job with that one.
Well, mainly what I did with Corey Dunford is get out of his way and let him be Corey. And
that's the best part of
was
coaching.
That's
what you did with Chris Lofton and those guys too. You just got out of their way.
I tried.
And you let those two middle linebackers run and make tackles. That's what the people don't talk enough about that team is those two middle linebackers you had were dudes.
Well, I tell people this all the time. I'll never forget you and I talking outside your locker room after our game. And you said to me, David, Groots and Lofton are really good. But you said the reason you beat us is we can't block your two inside linebackers and we can't block your two defensive ends. And those cats
that's almost
really
like the conversation we had the next year when you had lost those kids and you were pulling what little hair you had out. I said, David, you're finding out you're not Newt Rockney. You ain't got all them good players this year.
I know it.
You're calling the exact same plays, but you don't have the same people running them.
I know it. Hey, Chuck, you'll appreciate this. We go up and play, and we're actually hanging in the game there in 04 when we're terrible. And he had Caleb Minnick, who he ended up getting on the All-Star team. Caleb was a really good Mike linebacker.
Really good Mike linebacker.
Yes. In fact, I thought he was the best one in the state, and that's why we put him on that All-Star team when Brandon was the quarterback. And he started there. I still say Caleb Minnick was the best Mike linebacker in the state of Kentucky. He killed it. But this will tell you what the shape we were in. We were in 2x2 all night, and we were having a little success offensively. And so Dane here says, they're not very good. He plays 2-man the rest of the night. We got a 5-man box. We got 5 plus a running back plus a quarterback, and Caleb Minnick whipped all 7 of us. And I'm like, hey, if Caleb Minnick can whip all 7 of us, we're in trouble tonight. And we were in trouble. And I remember, I think we picked a pass and you tackled us on the 1, and we finally scored on like 4th and half an inch. And man, back in those days, if we picked off a pass, I prayed that he would score because I knew if they tackle him on the 1, I'm not sure we can punch it in. But anyway, looking back, they were fun days. But when I was in the middle of them, it didn't seem like a whole lot of fun. It really did. Not in those.
Been there.
Not those. Yeah.
Been there.
Goodness gracious. But, hey, so here's my next one. And I was at the game. This was awesome. You were the special teams coordinator at Eastern. Chuck may have been coaching at UK for this game. You all ran a fake field goal to perfection. And then after the game, I asked you about it. And you said you got it from your brother, Donald, that Donald saw it and he sent it to you. Hey, walk us through how that all went down. That was so cool.
I can't remember I think it was 2009. I think it was 2000. I think it was 2009, and it was either 9 or 10. I can't remember what year it was.
Yeah, I was.
But Coach Ortmeyer always would just really, really try to get pressure up the middle on field goals and be kind of soft on the edge. And my brother is the biggest Kentucky football fan I know.
Yeah,
and
his brother's a really good football coach. Really good football because I've coached against him. He's excellent.
Donald said, and of course, we call each other bruv, B-U-R-V. He goes, bruv, I think you can fake a field goal on Kentucky. I think if you just put the ball down and just run and trap that end, you can fake a field goal on. And I looked at it on film. I called it back. I said, bruv, I think you're right. And he said, well, he goes, I hope it works for you. He goes, I hope on special teams you guys return a kickoff for a touchdown and scoop and score a kickoff for a touchdown. I hope you block a punt for a touchdown. I hope you return a punt for a touchdown. I hope you score on your fake point and lose 48-46. Because he's, like I said, he's the biggest UK football fan in the world. But we faked that extra point, and I made sure I gave him credit. I mean, it wasn't an extra point; it's field goal. Only touchdown we scored that game, but he thought that was all right.
That's pretty cool.
It was very cool, very cool. So, but hey, Dane, it's exciting to see you at Paris. I'll always love Paris. That's where I found my wife, Stephanie. Was when I was an assistant at Paris, In fact, Chuck and I coached it against Paris when she was a cheerleader. Now, I didn't meet her that night, so that doesn't sound like a very good story. But
I don't believe I tell too many people that one.
Yeah, I know it. But we love the Greyhounds, and we're really excited that you're there, and we wish you the best. And hey, send me the PayPal, and I will buy the Giovanni's pizza one week. Absolutely.
I'm going to send you the Bill Alverson. You know Bill. I'm going to send you the Bill Alverson Paris Football Foundation way to pay the money, and we'll get it taken there and be good to go.
Hey, good deal. Hey, go Greyhounds, and tell Puck and the Doctor of Sports that I said hello.
The Doctor of Sports is getting ready to go under the knife to get knee replacement, I think. He's going to be laid up. It's killing him.
Hey, he'll have to call you to do the interviews then for the newspaper. So
that's right.
And hey, make sure you keep winning. I remember one night I thought Roger was going to whip Puck because Puck, I think, put in the papers like the first homecoming we'd lost since 1972. So just keep an eye on Puck. But as long as you're 3-0 and you keep winning, Puck can't put anything like that in the Lexington Herald.
We're going to keep doing our best. We got a tough one this week with Somerset. They're a little bit bigger than us, so we'll have to see what we can figure out.
I got you. Well, you'll do a good job. Hey, tell Donald hello for me too.
I will, Dave. It's good to see you, Coach.
Good seeing you.
Thanks, Coach Smith. It's good to see you, buddy.
Yeah.
Take care. Thanks.
Bye.
See you, Dane. Bye-bye.
David, we're going to the next segment, which is our tough topic. Seems to be a favorite with our listeners. And we have got a pretty good question. It's why is attendance down at games? It's from Dave Burnworth.
Yes.
And, why do you think attendance is down at games? Do you think attendance is down at games?
Well, we've only had one home game. And I did think I thought our crowd looked bad, but our gate was actually a little better than normal. But I did this, though. I got on Bluegrass Preps and I put up a poll. And of the poll, I've had 12 people vote. 11 say crowds are down, and they say it's due to ticket prices and streaming prices. Mm-hmm. And so far, I think most people are sort of agreeing. They think that it is down. And I don't know. I don't know if I really think that yet. And, we're struggling at Anderson. I love being there, and I love what we're doing, but we're struggling. So, I'm not seeing the high profile stuff. I will say this, our fans travel really well. And, I thought we had a good crowd at Washington and at Grayson County. I thought we had a good crowd for the Danville game. Like I said, the gate was better than normal. I didn't think the crowd looked as big, but I did think, but now here's the other thing about the Danville game. We played at 6:30 instead of 7:30. So we moved it up because of the storm. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it. So I don't know. I don't know, but I do know that there is somewhat of a sentiment out there that it is happening. They think that it's online tickets, it's streaming, or ticket prices going up. And I don't know. I would say this. I think like what Dane said. I think if you're talking small town, rural America, I don't know that that's really going to change a lot. I think those places, they're going to show up because that's the main event. Now, I could see maybe in the bigger cities or places where there's more schools in one area that might be somewhat the case. But, I still think in small town America, I think those Friday nights are still going to be pretty important. And I don't know. I just – even if there's a little bit of a dip, I just think it's going to bounce back. And the other reason I think it'll bounce back is we're the last thing that that it's going to happen every Friday. I mean, with Title IX, you really never know when a basketball team is going to play anymore. They may play Saturday at 11 a.m. You don't know when the boys or girls are playing. And I think Friday night high school football is one of the last things that people can really sort of hang their hat on and say, hey, I know we got a game Friday. I just don't know where it is. And then they find out where it is and you go from there. So what do you think?
Yeah, I'm 100% with you there on how special Friday nights are. I agree that there's the streaming is really provided a at home in the comfort of your own home opportunity to watch your team play. I think the true fans are going to come out and watch the game. I really do. I think that streaming is more for the older crowd. It doesn't want to get out in the crowd anymore. Ticket prices have definitely gone up. I don't think that helps. But they've gone up to cover the expenses of equipment and supplies that has really skyrocketed and gone up. And so they're trying to get the money to pay for that kind of stuff. I get that part of it. Also, teens and young adults, there's in today's world, there's just so many more options for entertainment, than a football game. Back in the day, the football game was it. That's where everybody went. That's where everybody was going to go. But now there's so many more options for those young adults and teens. And I do think that the success of your program has a whole lot to do with crowd size. If your program is successful, then it is kind of contagious. The crowd comes, the people come, they all want to come and be a part of it. I do think that has plays a big part in the crowd that's there at the game, is the success of your program. But I agree with what you said, and I agree with what Dane said too. There's just nothing like Friday nights. I coached in some of the biggest stadiums in college football, but I tell you what, there's nothing like a Friday night. There isn't. It's just your entire community comes, or that you want them to come, and everybody comes out and supports the football team. It's just a special moment. It's a special time. It's great memories. I love Friday nights. I really do. I enjoyed my Saturdays too. I'm not going to say I didn't, especially in those big stadiums, but I love Friday nights. There's nothing better than Friday nights. I would hate to see it decline, and I would hope that the administration and the schools would do what they need to do to keep that attendance up. Whether it's lower, maybe you take a look at the ticket prices. Maybe the administration can figure out a way to pay for some of the cost of equipment and supplies and keep that ticket price down. If the ticket prices rise and you're bringing a family of 4 or a family of 5 to a high school football game or basketball, it doesn't matter. That gets to be quite expensive. Maybe have maybe they can have a family pass that's reasonable.
And we do stuff like that, and we'll have season passes. We're selling a lot of season passes this year,
that's reasonable in price. But I think that at the end of the day, the administration is going to have to say, hey, do we want the community to come and come together as a group and support our young people here? And I think the answer would be yes. But if they do, then they're going to have to eat some of the costs of the equipment and supplies that money has been earmarked for. That stuff keeps going up, just like everything else in this world.
Well, I want to share this with our listeners. We got in a bind because our numbers are up. We had to buy a couple of helmets last week. They're $500 a piece right now. Yeah. And we've got 77 kids. Now, we don't buy 77 new helmets every year, but you take 77 times 500 equals, we've got $38,000 in helmets sitting in there. And we're not even getting into shoulder pads. We're not even getting into the jerseys and the pants. And, we've got 3 jerseys and 4 sets of pants. And, we're trying to get a handle on it. But it is. And I tell you something else along the lines with this same conversation. I'm trying to be really careful about fundraiser fatigue. Lawrenceburg's been super to me, and they have been over the top supportive. But I'm just trying to be careful because I don't want to go to the well too many times. And what amazes me a little bit is, we've struggled at Anderson. I mean, it was a struggle the 3 years before I got there, and we've struggled the last 3 years. But it amazes me that we still have really good crowds. And I think if we can start winning, I think we'll have great crowds. But we've got to start winning. And that's such a big piece of it. And, I would argue with my bosses with this, and they didn't really like it, but I would tell them, I say, if the chess team doesn't win, you're okay. But I said, if the football team doesn't win, I said, you got to make a change because you can't pay the bills. I said, the football team has got to win. And that doesn't sound very nice, but it's a reality. You got to pay the bills, and it's expensive. So hopefully people will figure this out. But I think in some form or fashion, Friday night high school football is going to continue to be a big part of our communities. At least I sure hope so. I really do.
I do too. It's a special. It's special on Friday nights for the community to come out, and it's kind of a nice, safe, environment, innocent environment for the community to come together. And I would think that the administration would want to keep that going, and the way to not keep it going is to price them out of coming. And so, but somebody has got to pay the bill. So, how are you going to figure that out? I hope that the administration figures that out and gets and eats some of that cost for some of those equipment supplies that the football program, basketball, baseball program need. My kids were raised going to high school sporting events, and I wouldn't trade that for nothing. They loved it. I loved it. I loved going. They loved going. It was just a great atmosphere, and they were raised on it. And I just would hate to see it, stop.
I agree with you, and I'm hoping that'll be one of the things that'll hang around. So let's hope that happens.
David, next segment is, of course, our games of the week. And we got two in-town rivals, Owensboro Catholic and Owensboro, and we got North Oldham and South Oldham. I believe you have Owensboro. I have Owensboro Catholic. You want me to go first, or you want to go first?
It doesn't matter. Whatever you prefer. Good with me.
Okay. Well, I got Owensboro Catholic, and Jason Morris is the head football coach, and what a job he has done there. Oh my gosh. He's got them off to a 3-0 start, an impressive win over Bowling Green in the opening game. He was 14-1 last year and was state runner-up, losing to a really good Beechwood football team. He's got them rocking and rolling there. Done a super job. They're hard to beat. They do a great job. I've seen them on tape a few times. They're fundamentally sound. They're schematically sound. He does a great job, and they got some really good football players too. Right now, they got as their quarterback, he's a junior, Dramel Carruthers. In the first or the last game that they played, he was 20 of 36 for 251 yards. I think against Bowling Green, he threw for over 200 yards too. So he's doing a good job of putting the ball in the air. The guy that he's throwing to is Xavier Maddox. He had 4 receptions for 72 yards. He seems to be their favorite target. But listen to this guy here, the running back. His name is Miles Edge. He had 15 carries for 97 yards. He had 7 receptions for 72 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And then on defense, he had 8 tackles. I mean, he's Mr. Everything. He's doing it all for them. Very impressive. You got Owensboro, David.
I do. Their head coach first year, I believe, is DeMarcus Ganaway. He was an All-American wide receiver at Kentucky Wesleyan and also played for the New York Jets for a year. And his son is their starting quarterback as a sophomore. Now, their record is 1-2, but their losses are to Cal and St. X, who may very well be the 3A and the 6A state champs. They're really, really good. Ty Ashley leads their defense. And actually on offense, their running back, Evan Hampton, is a Mr. Football candidate. I think he's had over 30 offers so far. I think he's a Vandy commit. I'm not sure. I've seen some different things. Is that correct? He is a Vanderbilt commit?
Yeah, he's the real deal. He really is good.
Yes. Yeah, he's a really good player. So, I think it's going to be a great ball game between these two. I think right now what's getting me is the whole Bowling Green thing. I mean, if you can beat Bowling Green, I mean, I think you're really good. So as much as I think Owensboro is really good, and I do think they're really good, I think I would probably pick Catholic in this game just because they beat Bowling Green. And I think they beat them at Bowling Green, didn't they?
They did. They did. They sure did.
Yeah. So, hey, I think Owensboro's got a super football team, but I think in this game I probably would pick Catholic.
I'm going with Catholic. I'm going with Owensboro Catholic. I think they do a really good job, and they've been on fire for 2 years now, and I think they haven't slowed down a bit. And I think that that's who I would pick. Hey, how about North Oldham and South Oldham?
Well, I've got South Oldham, and they're in my district. And if you look at my district, there's 5 teams. 4 are ranked in the top 10 of 5A. I mean, it is a killer district. They are good. But I tell you what, one of them who is right there, I mean, super football team, Kane Sams is their head coach, South Oldham. Their quarterback is Adrian Miles. He's averaging over 100 yards a game passing. Anthony Dixon is both a run and a receiving threat. I tell you what, I may send this young man a graduation present. Sam Dawson on the defensive line. That cat has been a problem. He is a great football player up front. He's very difficult to block. He's a U of L commit. And like I said, I'm really glad this is the last time I'm going to have to look at him because he is a super football player. Defensively, Evan Hale, Blake Dickamore, and Cole Greenwell lead the team in tackles. Charlie Temple has 2 TDs, and he's also one of their leading tackles. So Charlie Temple is playing on both sides of the ball. South Oldham, again, is very, very good. Very good.
Well, I've got North Oldham, and Brock Roberts is the head football coach, and what a job he has done. He's really rejuvenated that program. He's got them rocking and rolling. They're currently 2-1. They lost to the Oldham County rival, and they were last year. They were 9-3, and they lost in the second round. But he has brought them together as a club. He's got the community excited. He's done a super job. He really has, and he's got some pretty good players to help him do that. Colin Daniels is the quarterback. He was 26 of 43 for 307 yards and 3 touchdowns in their last game. Listen to this receiver. I mean, Lord, he would be on my scouting report. Lucas Tompkins, he had 13 receptions for 141 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, I would circle him, put colors around his jersey. I would put a player on the field. I mean, that guy, that's got to be a school record, 13 receptions in a game. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah, and then running back, the guy that's been carrying the running back load is Ronan Retton. And then on defense, the guys that have been taking care of the business on defense is Bryce Duke. He had 13 tackles in the last game, and Preston Smith had 12 tackles. So that's pretty active players to come away with 13 and 12 tackles, in a game. And I know one of his assistants is a friend of mine, Kevin Key. He played college football with me. He's a Seneca grad, but we played together at the University of Kentucky way back in the 70s. So I know he not only was a good player, but he also knows football. And he's going to have that defense. Let me tell you this, David. North Oldham has not beat South Oldham in 10 years. It's been 10 years since North Oldham beat South Oldham. It's time, David. It's time. I'm going with North Oldham. I know they're going to be the underdog in this game. I know it's going to be a long shot, but I'm telling you right now, North Oldham is going to figure out a way to win this rivalry.
I got you. I'm going to disagree with you. I'm a big Brock Roberts fan as well. He did a super job on our podcast. I wanted Brock on because I wanted to hear from a young head coach building a program when you're surrounded by other really good programs. And I think Brock's got going on. But I just think right now South Oldham has got the edge on them. I think they're ahead of them. And I just think South right now is a different animal. I really do.
Well, I know they're going to be excited that you picked them because you're pretty good at picking games. Let's go to our rapid fire. And,
All right.
And in week two, you were 7 out of 10 for your picks. That's pretty good. I was 3 out of 10 for my picks. So I don't know any football. But for the season.
I'm proud of you though, because if I were you, I wouldn't know what those numbers were. I wouldn't even know them now. But hey, you're a great guy because you're saying, hey, so tell us what they are for the season so far. What are we?
You're 17 for 20 out of 23. So you've at that 75%. You've done a great job of picking these games. I'm 12 out of 23, which is a little under 50%. Now,
well, you know why, don't you? Do you know why?
No, I don't know why. Tell me.
I can. Which, by the way, I need to bring something up. Hey, I caught you on one. We were at 234. Well, we beat Grayson. I'm 235 now. Now, I'll recognize I'm 8 state championships behind you. Okay, so, but I'm going till I'm 80. So, in 20 years, if we can win it 8 times, that'd be good. But here is why I get you on these. You have won a state championship multiple times. So when you win one, at least for a little while, you turn your brain off and you can relax. I haven't turned my brain off in 33 years. If I'm not working and trying to figure it out, so you've had a little time to relax and say, hey, we did it. I never got to say that. So I'm always working. I don't get any time off. But anyway, hey, so let's do the rapid fire. What we got? Go ahead.
For the record, you got more wins than I do now?
By one. But you got – I know, but you got me on state titles. You're 8-0 on state titles. But if I can go 20 more years, that's only going to mean – what is that? We got to win one state title, every 2-3 years? That's what we got to do. That's going to be a big hill, but that's all right. We'll climb it. We'll climb it. Hey, you know what's going to be great? What's going to be great is you and me and Jackie and Stephanie all go out to eat. And if I can get to 7 when I'm 80, I'm going to ask Jackie and Stephanie, say, I think I can go to 85. What do you all think? Hey, they'll both punch me in the mouth.
Yeah. I'm comfortable where I ended up. I really am good. I knew when to.
I'd say so.
Hey, let me say. Now let's go to the rapid fire. Okay.
All right, here we go.
Barchtown and Nelson County.
Barchtown.
That's who I would pick as well. How about Bowling Green and South Warren? I'm going to take a pass on this one, but I'll let you pick.
South Warren.
What? South Warren?
Yep.
Okay, and then Cal and Ryle. Boy, this is going to be a heck of a game. This is a tough one.
I tell you what, I'm going to go with I'm a big Hunter Cantwell fan, but I'm going to go with Ryle just because I think Ryle can throw more bodies at him. And from playing Cal, gosh, I hope Hunter doesn't mind. I think they're a little more vulnerable in the early part of the season when it's hotter and more humid, and I think their numbers gets them a little because that's sort of how we got them at Mercer twice. But so I think Cal's still going to win a 3A state title, but this week I'm going with Ryle.
I'm going to go with Cal. I just think I think they're on fire.
I got you.
Manual and Atherton. Whoa, Atherton's having a great year.
I'm going to go Manual.
I am going to go with Manual as well.
I got you.
I think that's probably the easiest thing to do is wait till you pick and then I pick the same.
Nobody's buying that. Nobody's buying that.
How about Glasgow and Allen County?
Glasgow.
That's who I would pick as well.
Yep.
How about Highlands and Boyle? What a game this is going to be.
I love the Rebels, but I'm going to go with the Bluebirds on this one.
All right, I'm going with Boyle. They won't lose 2 in a row. There's no way.
I got you.
Kentucky Country Day in DeSales, the battle of the private schools there in Louisville.
I'm going KCD.
That's who I'm going with, yeah. And then how about, here's a good one right here, Lexington Christian Academy and Franklin County.
Well, if I could look at the LCA depth chart, I could give you a better answer. I think I'm gonna pick LCA.
I'm going with Franklin on that one.
I got you. That's a good choice. That's a good choice.
How about this in-town rival, North Hardin and Central Hardin?
North Hardin.
Yeah, that's who I'm going with. Central Hardin had a bad game last week. What about this one right here? Pikeville and Johnson Central.
Hey, I love Chris McNamee. They're going to be in the ballpark in November, but I think this week Johnson Central's just got too much bodies for them. I just do.
You know, Johnson Central really impressed me with their Belfry game last week. Golly, I wasn't expecting that. But I'm going to go with Pikeville.
I got you.
I'm going to go with Pikeville.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it right there.
So I got you. We'll see how it turns out.
Fire games of the week, and we'll see how we turn out.
Well,
I know everybody listening to this show was tickled to death if you picked them.
No, I don't know about that. Hey, if they watch me coach, they say, I don't know, the sucker's lucky to get the games right. But anyway, I do want to share this. Next week, our tough topic is from Hunter Cantwell. And it's a great question about how do you determine who's going to play on the JV team, especially in programs with smaller numbers. And that is a stressor. It really is. But I think your JV program is one of those things that it's sort of tough to do, but I think you got to do it. You got to do it if you want to develop football players. And I think some coaches get tired of fighting that battle. And I think giving in on that battle is a big mistake. So we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to do something a little different. I think is going to be awesome. East and West play a week from Friday, East Carter, West Carter. And we're going to have Daniel Barker and Tim Champlin on together. Two young, very good coaches. We're going to interview them together. And so it's going to be a little different episode, but I think it's going to be great. And I'm looking forward to the JV question. I'm looking forward to talking to those guys. And, you know, when I was at Mason County, when I first got there, I didn't know a lot about East or West Carter. I knew Burt Bradshaw from West Carter. We went to Phil Sims's camp together. So I knew Burt Bradshaw from West Carter High School, but I didn't know much about him. But as time went on, I loved to go to East Carter and West Carter for a ball game. They were special atmospheres. They were cool places. And I'm really excited about it. I love those places. I really do. I love them.
I think that could potentially be a really good show, David. That's a good choice right there. I think that'll be great. Hey,
I'm looking forward to it.
Listeners, thank you all for listening, but please stay on and listen to Mac's historical segment. It's always great. It comes on just as soon as we finish talking here. We appreciate you guys joining us, and we'll see you next week.
In the 19th and early 20th centuries, it was common for towns to develop around railroad tracks, which of course led to residential areas being divided by the tracks. As the saying, wrong side of the tracks, indicates, the areas with industry and smoke and lower property values were oftentimes designated for those in the minority. And in one small Kentucky town, the wrong side of the tracks was home to a school, a coach, and a team that became legendary. This is Forgotten Heroes, and I'm your host, Mac Yoakum. In the 1940s, Horse Cave, Kentucky had a population of about 1,000 people. The all-white Horse Cave High School had a good basketball program, having made several state tournament appearances, and they were state runners-up in 1933. But it was the team from the wrong side of the tracks in Horse Cave that many said was the best in Kentucky, regardless of race. Horse Cave Colored High had no gym and played with hand-me-down uniforms from the white school, oftentimes taping numbers on the uniforms. Horse Cave Colored was led by Coach Newton Thomas. Coach Thomas was from Georgetown, and he had attended Kentucky State College, and he went to Horse Cave to be principal, and he knew nothing about coaching basketball. But his boys wanted to play, so Principal Newton Thomas went to a clinic being conducted by Adolph Rupp to learn how to be Coach Newton Thomas. He took to heart everything the Baron said, and he made Horse Cave Colored High one of the most dominant teams in Kentucky State history. And it certainly didn't hurt that Coach Thomas started his team with 2 stars named Cave and Kingfish. From 1941 to 1945, Coach Thomas, Cave, Kingfish, and their teammates only lost 2 games while winning 111. In 1943-44 and 44-45, Horse Cave won 65 games in a row and won back-to-back KHSAL state titles. Their winning streak was snapped in the national title game against Oklahoma City Douglas on a trick play as time expired. Cave and Kingfish were named to the All-State team both years, and both went on to star at Tennessee A&I, now Tennessee State University, playing for Coach Henry Keene, who we've talked about in another episode, the former star and coach at Louisville Central. Cave was Clarence Wilson. Clarence was so good at Tennessee State that he was been inducted into their Hall of Fame. Kingfish was Carl Hellum, and Carl was also enshrined in the TSU Hall of Fame. After their playing days at Tennessee A&I for Coach Keene had ended, Cave and Kingfish became international celebrities. The two from the wrong side of the tracks in tiny Horse Cave, Kentucky, both signed with the Harlem Globetrotters. Kingfish played for the Trotters from 1948 to 1955. During his time, they twice defeated the NBA champion Minneapolis Lakers and played their first overseas tour. In 1999, the Globetrotters named Carl Kingfish Hellum a Globetrotter legend, an award that has only been given to 13 other Globetrotters. Clarence Cave Wilson signed with the Trotters in 1949, and his teammates included his buddy the Kingfish and future Hall of Famers Sweetwater Clifton and Goose Tatum. But it was Clarence Wilson who was named captain of the Trotters. Known for his two-handed set shot from half court, he played for the Trotters from 1949 to 1964, the longest tenure with the team up to that time. In 1951, Cave, Catfish, and their Trotter teammates starred in the movie Harlem Globetrotters. In 1950, Horse Cave and Park City schools merged to form Caverna Independent. Their merger was tied up in court for a time because Horse Cave was in Hart County and Park City was in Barron County. In 1957, integration occurred and the black students from Horse Cave Colored went to Caverna. 1957 also saw Coach Newton Thomas become the first African American to teach in an integrated school in Kentucky. The team from the wrong side of the tracks, with no gym and a coach who didn't know basketball, became the stuff of legends. But for today, they are our forgotten heroes. Join us next time for another episode of Forgotten Heroes, when we will look at another segregated school in Kentucky's Jim Crow era.